What's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. We're going to talk Jean Pascal against Sergey Kovalev coming up next month. This fight here is major because we can finally we're getting one step closer to having an undisputed heavyweight champion. Now, Jean Pascal is not currently holding the title, but Kovalev is. And Pascal is one of the top 4 fighters at light heavyweight, okay? You got Bernard Hopkins, who Sergey Kovalev just beat. Kovalev is now the WBA, the WBO IBF champion at light heavyweight. And then you have Adonis Stevenson, who is the lineal champion, who is the WBC champion at light heavyweight, okay? They haven't fought. Everyone wants to see the fight. Jean Pascal has fought Lucian Beats Boutte. He's fought Bernard Hopkins twice. He's given Chad Dawson his first loss. He's lost to Carl Froch, but he's a very experienced fighter. You know, very athletic. He's being trained by Roy Jones now. I don't know if he's still being trained by him, you know, he's arguably the top fighter in Canada right now. Either him or Adonis Stevenson, okay? Those two guys were supposed to fight as well, but that fight didn't happen yet, okay? So another fight where Kovalev is fighting a top fighter, and he has to prove himself once again because he still have non-believers. Even beating Bernard Hopkins, there's people that think that he only won that fight because Bernard Hopkins' age, okay? Bernard Hopkins wasn't at his best, all right? So he has a lot to prove still, and he's still going into these fights thinking that he has a lot to prove, and he does, you know, until he actually beats Adonis Stevenson and Jean Pascal. You know, we really don't know who's the best at 175 right now, okay? So Jean Pascal, this is what he's gonna have to do to win this fight. I personally think he's gonna have to be aggressive. He's gonna have to come out like the way he did against Chad Dawson, okay? I know he's gonna try to be patient. Usually in most recent fights, he's patient, you know, trying to figure out the angles, trying to you know, just be a lot more technical, and I mean, he's a good puncher, he's an athletic fighter, but he has bad stamina, okay? He fades late in the later rounds of his fights. Even the Chad Dawson fight where he beat him while Chad Dawson was undefeated, he faded in the second half of the fight, okay? Chad Dawson started winning the fight, and the fight was stopped because of a cut. And even in the Bernard Hopkins fight, fighting an older Bernard Hopkins, because he fought him recently, okay? You know, he was hurt badly in both fights, and you know, we seen he had stamina issues against an older Bernard Hopkins. He still has stamina issues, all right? He fades late in the fights. Sergey Kovalev, you know, even though he fought Bernard Hopkins, older Bernard Hopkins, he did well in the second half. That was the one question, you know, that no one knew, you know, because he never fought past 8th rounds leading up to that fight. And he proved to be a good fighter in the later rounds. He almost knocked Bernard Hopkins out or stopped him in that 12th round. It was very close. So Sergey Kovalev has proven to me that he can fight and go rounds, okay? And he can fight a good boxing match, a good technical fight, you know, in that fight against Bernard Hopkins. So me personally, I think Pascal is going to have to fight at a pace where he's not, you know, brawling and exchanging with Kovalev, because Kovalev is the bigger puncher out of the two. But at the same time, he can't pace himself too slow, because we know Kovalev is going to go to the body. He has a good jab to the body. He's going to slow him down, and we know that Pascal fades in the later rounds. I think Pascal's best chance of winning this fight, to me, is if he stops Kovalev early, okay? He does have a big punch as well. He does have a big right hand. He's going to have to use that early in the fight, because the later the fight goes, the more he's going to fade. And I think Kovalev is going to take over as the fight goes on, okay? Kovalev, on the other hand, you know, keep that smart pressure going like he did against Hopkins. Not reckless, okay? but keep it smart. Try to get Pascal to the corner and pick his shots right like he did against Hopkins, okay? Even when he had Hopkins against the ropes, he was very hesitant, and he wanted to pick the best shots as possible, even countering Bernard at times, going to the body at times, you know, and he should definitely go to the body against Pascal and slow him down even more because he does have bad stamina. I think Kovalev is going to win this fight. He should be able to stop Pascal. Pascal has been hurt in the past, but he's never been stopped before. But I think Kovalev is going to be able to hurt him bad enough to be able to stop him. Not knock him out cold, but try to, you know, hurt him and then finish him off from there, okay? But he has to be very careful. He has to fight a smart, careful fight like the way he fought Bernard Hopkins in this fight, because Pascal does have punching power and he could hurt Kovalev. Kovalev has been down before in his career. He's even been dropped, usually flash knockdowns against Blake Capillero in his recent fight, okay? I think he's going to take Pascal very serious because Pascal is an elite fighter at the light heavyweight division, and he has to fight a very cautious fight. Pascal needs to be aggressive early, okay? He needs to be aggressive early because he's going to fade regardless. Even if he's not aggressive, he's still going to fade. So he needs to be aggressive early and gain Kovalev's respect early, all right? So anyway, that's the end of it. It should be a good card, I believe. Steve Cunningham, you know, I'm going to do a video on that. Steve Cunningham is going to fight Zar Glaskov on the undercard of this fight. So it's shaping up to be a pretty good card. So I'm going to probably do a prediction video right after this one for that fight, all right? So, and make sure you guys subscribe, all right? And check me on the next video.